I would do the whole thing, but I'm incapacitated. Oh, never mind.
Henshin Hajimasu! Henshin Hajimasu! Tokyu Ichigo! Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sentai Hero Special versus Rider Time Archive in the one and only, the crazy as Ressha Sentai ToQger versus Kamen Rider Gaim Spring Vacation Combined Special. And with me are representatives from both Sentai Hero Special and Rider Time Archive and Rider Time Podcast, technically. So it's like we got 3 shows in one. How's everyone doing?
I'm incapacitated.
I am so sorry. I hope you feel better. Have some fresh fruit and use the power of your imagination.
You lucky I'm here for ToQger.
Yeah. Yeah, no, ToQger, like we've been talking about ToQger for the last 3 weeks now straight. For certain reasons. Yeah.
ToQger's got that big boom boom going on.
Yeah. Yeah, use the power of imagination and that's not me trying to quote Ultraman Arc. I mean like because like we had like 2 episodes of like we got a crossover. We got a crossover with ToQger. Well, 2 of its members. Well, 1.5 really. And then we had a random power-up based on ToQger. And then we got a Zord that's somehow based on the Megazord. And now here we are talking about a crossover episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of crazy how a lot of people want to say that ToQger was childish, but still gets a lot more love than more other Sentais.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting because, like, under your original impression, you would think that ToQger is very juvenile because it's like, oh, you got a rainbow train, people using the power of imagination. And you have like a little, you have like a hand puppet named Ticket, and a robotic wagon that likes to show off its caboose.
This is a kid's show, by the way.
It's a kid's show, like taking selfies, like way back here.
Are we trying to reference Deno with the wagon?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
And what's really funny is, surprisingly, it's a very dark season. Like, a very, very dark season. Very first 2 minutes of the episode, you got kids getting kidnapped.
Well, we don't know that they're children until like well,
I'm talking about the actual little
kids. The kids,
like the one who was like pretending to be on an airplane, the one that's pretending to be with the panda. You know, like before we even see the Red Ranger in the episode, you got a bunch of kids getting kidnapped. Worst part of it is parents don't even notice they're gone.
That's why we learned in Boom Booms about that lost kid center.
Yeah. No, that was like I was like really like surprised by that myself because like when I first saw that because it's like, oh my god, a lost kids center, what's going on? But it's like
orphanages anymore.
Yeah, that was a crazy episode of Boom Booms, and ToQger has no shortage of crazy moments.
Nope.
Yeah. So
yeah, this show, I did see some of ToQger when it was originally airing because that was right after ToQger, which kind of again, this was at the time that we were kind of scratching our heads like, what is Japan doing?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was at that time that they were doing Megaforce,
mm-hmm.
And then there was that whole like, oh, what are we gonna do after? Like what? Like obviously it's got to be Go Buster, but then they said they weren't gonna do Go Buster. And then it's like, well, they're gonna go straight into Kyoryuger, but it's like, oh no, we're not doing trains. Right? It kind of just felt like at this point Japan was like, oh, we're doing our own thing now. We can go back to being not too reliant or trying to help out the Americans with trying to adapt the series, because
which has been a talking point between me and Jared when it came to both Dawn Brothers and King Oger.
Well, I mean, King Oger, I could possibly see something of an adaptation, but when you look at from past Kyoryuger, you see ToQger, you see Ninja they did. That was actually a surprise that
But they didn't bring Yoshi back for his proper role of Ninja. That will always be the gripe of Ninja Steel. Like, you had him. He was speaking English. He was there. You did the adaptation of the freaking episode, but you just cut him out. But you still bring him back? Make it make sense.
But to be fair, in that Christmas episode, Yoshi did get more screen time.
Nah, man. No.
It's all about that double Darso fan service.
They did him dirty. They did. And the thing is that I will say this, because I actually had a hot take about ToQger, because watching it and then kind of going back, I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. But when I try to put the comparisons are only because of the characters. But I'm like, whenever I say it, people get really upset. And I'm just like, why? Isn't it true? Isn't it not 100% true? It's like ToQger is literally Goseiger 2.0.
See, now I'm gonna put the pause on you.
And the thing is, my whole thing about it is, if you look at Alta, you look at Wright, you look at all the characters, it is basically cookie cutter, because they're children.
But they did it better.
That's what I mean. It's 2.0, because the problem with Goseiger was obviously the theming was kind of like, and the Mecha, I can't really, I guess we can bash on Gosei Great. On their
Gosei Great. That's a fine looking.
Like, as far as the Zord goes, Gosei Great was.
We can kind of bash on how it kind of all. I mean, to me, I was like, so we had Shinkenger and Goanger before, and the BS about that was that they had this. It was a clusterfuck. Like what? Like, we're just slapping everything on the machine now that it doesn't even move. It has to have like some type of like wheelchair
roller skates.
Yeah. So it's like, then they do Goseiger, and it's like the theming and everything for the Mecha was so random that a lot of people were turned off by it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you look at it in the story wise, it's like we have 5 characters who act kind of childish. They are naive, that they must deal with otherworldly forces, which in Goseiger's case, we deal with aliens, we deal with the cryptids and the
subaquatic robots,
and then we also have to deal with the mad scientists making robots, which is all combined by one key villain that has been pulling the strings. And
and even his design was low-key ripped off from Mega Man X Mark II from Mega Man 01.
But I will say that ToQger did it better when giving us the shadow line and giving us the very Victorian style villains, because that was the problem that I think if we had Brethren was like pulling the strings from the start, I don't think his whole backstory would have been as impressive. But the fact that we have an actual organization, not just one person, doing it all, and
that does make more sense. I will say this: I still lament that Dino Fury / Cosmic Fury didn't just have have Lord Zed and Void Knight just fused together in some way. Maybe one absorbs the other's powers and then becomes Zed from ToQger, because
Void Queen.
have more ToQger footage to work with.
Didn't they do? Wasn't there an enemy from Q
Void-
Ranger that
Void
kind of
Queen. Void Queen was based on ToQger, like she was Glitta's mom.
Yeah, well, the thing was, you look at, I mean, even Ninja Steel, you look like they replaced the head.
Nero was replaced with Cosmo Royale, which, by the way, shout out to a friend, Campbell. How you doing, Campbell? Hope you're watching. Hope you're having fun.
The thing is that America at this point was like, oh, we can make our own Power Ranger series, which you guys have been doing that for a long time, but you still have the Japanese footage to go off of.
You suck at it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Well, they did stop at it.
Yeah, they did stop it. Which, again, cry and lament all you like, but I'm like, bro, that thing was dying. I think if I'm not saying they're gone. What I'm saying is,
they need to take a step back.
It needs a break. It needs a breath.
Yeah, and having a reversion season isn't going to solve the problem.
No.
I don't know why they didn't just do Q Ranger as like the last. Like maybe this had something to do with Zordon. Maybe this was something to do with the outer space and Doggy Kruger and all the others. You know, maybe we could finally have something like that kind of brings it all together. Maybe there's another one like an Altarian who was like a student of Zordon to maybe keep going. But no, we just had to refurbish the dinosaur suits because I was like, I thought we were beyond this guy.
Yeah.
I
love Hunter as a in real life, but the thing is,
they did her dirty. They did her dirty. I'll say it.
Yeah, it's like
of an official first female Red Ranger, and that's what you give them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and for the record, Charlie doesn't count because she's a villain through and through, and Lauren, she's technically an extra hero because in the Sentai she's also an extra hero. Now, Gosei Knight was a 6th Ranger and got demoted to an extra hero in Power Rangers, effectively.
Yeah,
but
But
meanwhile, everyone's trying to fight tooth and nail to have Eric be both a 6th and a red.
No, you can't do
it. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. I love Eric Myers, but you can't have it both ways.
You can't do it no matter what. I can't argue all you want. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, it's like you may sit on the Council of Red Rangers, but we will not appoint you to a rank of red. Now, please sit down, Eric.
Here's how you can end that argument. Do you remember that banner that they did showing like all the reds and one white ranger?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because officially the reds are the leader. For some fucking reason, we had to put Tommy there. We don't know why.
That's because Rocky was in a bad position when he joined the team.
It's to put the leaders there. We know, but it just like that. That was such an eyesore, and they had to put Tommy. They had to put the White Ranger right in front.
I think.
Meanwhile, Zero Ranger 5 is right there next to him.
No, it's like, oh well. What about Time Fire? What about he's not on that? He's not on that poster, is he?
No.
No, he's not on that. He's not on that poster.
Even in Super Legends, when they had like 13 Red Rangers on that poster, they like Matt Austin signed that poster in 2010. You know, when I had that poster, he signed the SPD Red because technically he was SPD Red for 2 episodes. You know who's not on that poster? Time Fire. So.
Yep. As much as we expect, here it is. There it is. Do you see Time Fire there?
No, you do not.
No.
So it's kind of like, do you see Crimson Ranger on there? No,
I do see Time Fire on here.
But you do?
Yep.
No. Yep. Where? Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, if that's true, they have to put Crimson Ranger on there.
They got him right here in between Muddy Morphin and Wild Force.
Are we sure it's Time Fire?
Because Wes is right here next to
Hold on.
Yeah, no, because West is all the way on the other side for some reason. I don't know why.
Why? Then why?
Hold on. Let me look for other promotional images. Hold on. Let me see here.
If that's the
Okay.
case, then why?
Okay, there's Wes. Yeah, Eric is right between Jaden and Cole. Kind of ironic because they were both in Samurai.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, so you're telling me that like the Crimson Ranger, the female Samurai Ranger,
not there, but Eric is.
They're not there, but they are officially within the red spectrum, and yet they're not. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
no.
Now I feel Now I feel more offended by this.
Now that's bold because it's like, okay, here, like that photo, that whole thing was meant to show all the leaders of the people of all. Okay, cool.
Oh, here's another crazy one. Here's another poster right here where there are 2 red Time Force Rangers, not Red and Quantum. I mean 2 reds.
Well, if you want to really dig into it, Toei did the same thing with Zenkaiger. Had all the reds.
Yeah, plus, yeah. No, I was gonna bring that up next. It's like the one time where they made the exception for like in the Sentai was Zenkaiser. Like you got red, 2 reds, red, white, red. It's like that meme where it's like with like the presidents of the United States where it's like salting, and then it's like once you get to the 40s, salting, Oreo, Cheeto, salting.
Well, I mean, well, either way, that means to show the leaders, obviously, because typically they're always reds. But it's like there's an argument there about like, wait a minute, the leader of the Kaku Rangers was Shirahime, which was white, not Sasuke.
Yeah, even Delphine is more arguably a leader than freaking Arico. No offense to Mike Bacon, but in Forever Red, was Delphine there?
They want to say like Time Red is the leader when in fact it's actually Time Pink that is leading the team. Same thing goes with other teams. It's like, yeah.
If you really think about it, Geki Yellow was the leader.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like
literally episode 37. I know it's late into the game, but episode 37, Master Shafu appoints Ran to be the leader.
It's the same thing when you look at Wright and you look at Alta. It's like these two are so childish and kind of like they're dreamers and airheads, but apparently they're the leader where it's either blue or black or green is more capable, or they go to them. Like
let's add more fuel to the fire. Blue Ranger TJ over Red Ranger Andros.
I felt here's the thing about that.
No, I get why. I'm just saying we
wanted to cause chaos today, huh?
Not saying we will.
You just
want we could
profiles to come after us right now, but all right, we're going there. I don't know why why didn't you write out all of Turbo with the original cast? And we finally had a black male lead for the Red Ranger, only for him to be, well, not demoted, but just be taken from red to blue.
Well, I mean, it happened to Rocky.
It's in terms of rank, yeah, technically he's.
I mean, technically
demoted, but to be fair, as Jared would put it, blue, like even though he's down to blue, he still took charge in certain. He did take charge in certain decisions. He was the prudent one. Sometimes Andros would make brash decisions, and TJ would be the one that's like, "Hey, bro, pause, take a breath, think it over. You sure you want to do this? This could be a trap." Yeah, I definitely want to do it. God damn.
You sure about that? No, Andros, yeah, he's a cool red, but TJ did hold it down because he has that experience as a leader.
Yeah, and if you're like thinking, well, Andros was a Red Ranger for 2 years. Yes, he was a Red Ranger for minimum 3 years, including the 1 year of the actual season. But remember, 2 of those years he was flying solo. So is he the Red Ranger? Yes, but who is he leading though?
He had no team.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly, we could speculate that if Corona wasn't kidnapped, she might have been the Yellow Ranger, which would have been an interesting thing because then if she joined the team in Lost Galaxy, she would have been the first Ranger to be both yellow and pink. So far, we've mostly had black to green or vice versa, or we've had red to blue, but we've never had, and then we would later get from blue to red, but we've never had like transitioning from pink to yellow or vice versa. That would have been an interesting thing.
Barely air does that ever happen in Sentai or anything.
Yeah, and you know, like I've been thinking back on what's called Sun Vulcan, and then like took this one idea from Bokinger that was really not explored very much. And I had this idea of combining these two concepts. So, like, what do you think of this idea? What if there was like a Red Ranger where, like, we start off with that person being the Red Ranger, and midway through the season, they got replaced by another Red Ranger, like we've seen in the past. We've seen in past Sentai where one Red Ranger is replaced with another Red Ranger. But the first Red Ranger does come back, but as the 6th Ranger.
Like with Zeo?
Like with Zeo, except it's in the same season.
I mean, that's a bold choice to make.
Because remember, originally, Akashi was supposed to quit being Boken Red so he could become Silver.
Mm.
But he's like, nah, I'm going to have Eiji do it instead.
Oh, man.
True.
All right, let's see.
Let's take this train to Zawame City.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've ranted enough. Yeah. So we start off with ToQgers because they're in between episodes 6 and 7, while in Gaim they're kind of orbiting episode 24, kinda. See, here's the tricky thing. The reason why we're doing this episode here and now is because, one, previous arc in Gaim just ended. And this episode aired right after episode 6 of ToQger and right after episode 23 of Gaim. So this would be the natural place to do this crossover, or rather discuss. But there is one continuity error that we need to go over. Where we last left Kaido in episode 23, he was fighting a red overlord, but somehow he's totally fine right here, like midway through the special. Now, in episode 24 next week, he'll be back to fighting that red overlord, like where we left off. So, continuity error, this could be taking place after episode 24, but they aired it before episode 24. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. Here's where it gets even more confusing. Events in this special take place before the Generations movie. But the movie was released in theaters the Friday before the special aired.
Yep.
So for once, watching the movie first will make you more confused about the episode.
Basically, here's how you guys gotta do it. Watch Gaim up to episode 24, watch the special, watch the movie, then get back on to Gaim.
Yeah, but we're doing it this way because it's chronological. And we're not just gonna like review one episode by itself just to be like timely. Yeah, so yeah, like it starts off with the ToQgers. They have 2 of their augment Zords by this point. And it's like, they're they're traveling to like Zawami City. It's like, oh, people are breakdancing, and some French dude who makes a space race. We gotta visit him. They do not. Mr. Dangerous.
Cameo.
Yeah.
He did
Not even a cameo. We see his face on a brochure, but that's it.
They're like the best character, and he wasn't even in the movie.
No, yeah, and we made a big point of it that we made a very fine point of it that Oran Pierre Alfonso is without question the best character in Gaim, without whom we would not have survived the second arc.
No, he's the best character in the series. I mean, I love my Fruit Jesus, but yeah, no, he is the best character.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of a Fruit Adam, but I know what you mean. But yeah, so a bunch of Badon monsters show up. I'm like, oh wow, Badon. We haven't seen them since 1984.
Now, who were these guys? Like, I couldn't find anything on them for some reason.
Well, I actually know the answer, since I have actually watched every episode of Kamen Rider. Okay, so basically, in 1984, we had like a 10th anniversary special, which is kind of weird because it's 3 years after the actual 10-year anniversary, because 10 years would have been 1981, not 1984. But basically, it's the birth of the 10th Kamen Rider Z-Cross. So basically, the Badon Army is just another terrorist group, just like Shocker, Delza, Gorma, etc. Neo Shocker, Gel Shocker, Destron, God, and basically, Ryu Murasame was kidnapped, brainwashed, became one of their Air Force pilots. His partner was killed off. He survived, got his memories back, found out he's a cyborg. He wants to take personal vendetta against Badon. And then he finds 5 other riders led by Shiro Kazami, because Kamen Rider V3 is the Tommy Oliver of Kamen Rider, because he wasn't the first leader, but he's the one that stops the show. At least back then. Now it's Tsukasa Kodoya, but back then it was Shiro Kazami. And so like Shiro's like, bro, take it from V3. If you want to get revenge against Badon, team up with us. We're all about getting revenge against terrorist groups. And so all 10 Kamen Riders team up and defeat the Badon army. But that's pretty much all we get of that. Z-Cross never had a continuation for the most part. He just had the one episode, which is 45 minutes long. And when we do Super 1, we'll include Z-Cross as part of our Super 1 discussion. And basically, we'll see him again in Black RX when we get all 11 riders. But after that, we never see Z-Cross again until Decade, when we have like All Riders versus Die Shocker, that sort of thing. Or, like anything involving Decado, Honore Decado, blah, 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 blah. And
come on, we gotta talk about our GOAT this episode that got caught on the train.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about our GOAT.
Yeah, we gotta talk about our GOAT. Yeah, I know.
Narutaki Sensei.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. So we see the Badon army, the ToQgers transform, but incidentally, what's his name? Koda also shows up. They both transform. They're like, they do the Spider-Man thing.
They're like, huh?
There's a lot of that in this special. A lot of the close up, huh?
Yeah, a lot of fourth wall breaks, and then we see like the gimmick where the ToQgers change colors, and so that even Mai turns around towards the camera. It's like,
Mai even says, "This is too goddamn crazy for me."
Who? And then Baron's like, hey, that's my line. That's my line.
It's like, wait, who are these guys? Who are like, what's going on here? I don't know. We fucking live in a city where we're trying to make dancing a thing, and there's monsters that come out that are zombified plant zombies, and now there's these 5 multicolored people with trains. I don't get it. And I was like, the phrase, it's Japan, just go with it, is gonna be a lot said in this review.
It's like, imagine, I'm curious for someone who's never watched either shows.
You want to go live in the Nihon desu. I don't think you're ready.
If you can handle this,
organizations, giant monsters coming from the oceans, tentacles coming out of places they should not be,
and going into places they should not be.
No, Diddy.
I mean, I'm talking to you, Code Lyoko, season 3.
I'm like, French. That's not even Japan. That's the French.
Trying to imitate Japan.
Yeah, and they did such a good job hearing me say it sarcastically. Yeah. You could at me all I want. I'm like, bro, that show, I went and rewatched it, and I'm like,
yeah,
wow, this is trash. What am I watching?
Yeah. Like, I can only imagine what it would be like to be like someone who's never watched Super Sentai or Kamen Rider and use this 1-hour special as their introduction for both shows.
No, I actually was watching this, and someone asked me what's going on. I'm like, you know what? I could explain it to you, but you're not gonna get it either or.
That's surprising that adults don't get it, but I'll show this to my nephews, and they're just like,
they get it because again, they're children, and they get it. Where adults need logic. Like, yeah. Why is this happening? Just shut up and go with it.
Yeah, and it's really funny is that like even though I mentioned, I wonder what it's like to do. Like, here's the thing. Last night I was watching this with my SO, and they've never watched Kamen Rider or Super Sentai. They've seen clips of Gavu because I'm currently watching Gavu, but it's like there's not too much context to like appreciate like the full story. So it's like watching this whole 1 hour together. It's like, I kind of lament that I didn't ask them like what they thought of that special, but at least they have enough background of Power Rangers to be
like back in the 2000s when like anime was not a thing. Anime was not popular. There was no shop. There was no boba tea. There was none of this stuff. Sushi places were very rare, and you watch a VHS that you rented from like the Hollywood Video or the Blockbuster, and you're watching it, and everyone is ragging on you because you thought you spent that money on this fucking Chinese movie, and I don't even know what the hell we're watching. Like, that was the reaction a lot of people were giving me when they were just like, yeah, I haven't felt this one in a while. And even so, I'm like, you know what? I vaguely remember ToQger, but how they go about this, I'm like, my reaction when everything is going down is exactly how I was towards the end of the film. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. Like, video stores were weird back in the day because I remember one time I went to a video store and I wanted to rent out Back to the Future because I haven't seen the first one all the way through at that point. Like, I've seen the entirety of the second one, but I've only seen like the last 30 minutes of the first one and none of the third one. So like the movie was in the kids section. So I go to the kids section trying to find Back to the Future. I find Back to the Future. I grab the DVD, turn around, and across from Back to the Future was a certain Japanese animated series involving a certain black book that is opened every 12 years. Steven knows what I'm talking about.
It's a good watch. It is a good watch, but
it's like the fact that this show and this movie are like right across from each other. It's like, and it's not even covered up either. It's like right there playing the same. I'm like, I guess I'm not in Kansas anymore. Welcome to Oz. But yeah, no, it's crazy, and
Crazy times.
Crazy times. But somehow Wright ends up in the Helheim, and I'm like, oh no.
We've already discussed this. We discussed this with Boom Boomger.
Would have been like, let him
Helheim.
Like, let him eat the fruit. That would have been awesome.
Yes, yeah, because like for anyone who doesn't know, Wright's flanderized personality, like if every Sentai character was flanderized, like in Power Rangers at a certain point, Wright's gimmick is he likes food.
More than Kagura does, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, Kagura likes sweets, but Wright is basically Monkey D. Luffy in real life, where like if you present like a massive tray of red meat twice the size of his body, he'll still eat it in a second.
Yeah, like Wright's about to eat fruit. Kagura's
eating him to get shot. Mm-hmm. And luckily, he's just a little boy, so he doesn't really process.
Yeah, because why people think it's flowers? He's like, yeah, he's still a kid.
He's a little boy. He's like that. That's the thing that
he's a growing little boy.
Here's the thing for the Boomboomger special is like, are we gonna get actual adult Wright, or are we gonna get the kid who was Wright, who is now like
actual adult?
Yeah, an actual adult now. But it's like, no, it was Wright. But I was like, I had to pause the TikTok video, be like, is that him?
Yeah, because the hair's different.
Yeah, no, the hair's different, but it kind of looks like it's gonna look like our boy has kind of been working out a bit. He looks a little more bigger.
Yeah,
it
probably for another role
a bit, but we'll find out next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I kind of was like, I was like, oh, he looks different. While all the other Sentai, all the other ToQgers kind of like follow them on social media, they all kind of still look the same. It's like, right? It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, he's just a little boy who got shot, and he doesn't question it. He's like, oh, so I shouldn't eat the fruit then? No. Okay.
I just realized something with ToQger, which is my favorite thing in ToQger is when Kagura takes the golden Ressha and Wright's just like depressed, like, I guess I get to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that that whole thing happened before in this special with Blue and the parfait shop owner, because he's like, one's got to pay, the other one's depressed, like, oh, so you're just gonna go to Bravo shopper? Well, you was liking my stuff before. What happened? You was liking my stuff.
And I feel bad for Tokachi because he's always the one who has to pay.
It's like,
man, all I'm gonna say is it doesn't matter if you're 7, 27, or 77. Simpin' ain't pimpin' unless you're Honda-kun from Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0, and you're not Honda-kun.
Yeah, period, and that affects your money. Do what a pimp named Slickback does. He's saying that don't
slap the hose, because these girls are not hoes.
Mm-hmm.
Although Kagura seriously should be like, just no, you know what,
right. Dependency affects your happiness and even worse, your money.
Yeah, but it's so odd. I don't know. Our poor shopkeep just got so dissed because Mai and Kagura are just like, we should really go to that cake shop. I hear it's good. It is good. It's better than here. Yeah, and I'm like, what?
They're all just like, really?
They're just bragging. I'm like, were you not just eating his parfait and just saying it was the best ever? And now you're talking about a shop that you guys never even got to. They never got there. And it's just like, oh yeah, you make Blue pay, and then you made Shopkeep just kind of get down in a slump and just like start singing all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So sad. But I'm like, they're children. They're children. They're little assholes. I know. I know. They're all little assholes. I know. We all know this, but god damn, it's
disrespectful. Disrespectful.
I thought Asian children were more respectful in society.
We thought wrong.
She clearly was raised in America. But yeah, they get attacked because Mole Man is like, I'm trying to summon my brothers from underground, and he keeps ripping zippers in time and space, and keeps bumping into a certain red inverse who just keeps kicking his ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it eats more fruits inside Helheim. But
that's a first. That's a first that motherfucker, like, he ate the fruit, and instead of turning into like a beefcake or whatever, he just grew.
Yeah, pretty much.
Make my indes grow.
I'll say this though. Thankfully, Kota does explain stuff to Wright. They manage to get out. They go to the train station to find the Rainbow Line, which thankfully Kota has a strong enough imagination to actually see the liner.
Yeah, that's the thing with these two that I was kind of like, oh, now I understand what people meant. And it's like, I love Wright, I love Kota, but I was just like, I heard a little thing that I was like, dude, that year we really had a thing for idiots being leaders, and I was like, what? Oh,
it was a time. It was a time that a lot of seasons
and Kota were just freaking idiots. They're literally like they're like, it's Dragon Ball Super Goku, pretty much.
Oh no! Forgot my tractor.
Like, I'm like, these two are just like such goofballs, such like, wait, I thought people couldn't see the train unless, you got to have an imagination, like, these are actual children, Kota, and you are like, you said you were past the age of 18, had a job, and graduated from the dance because it was childish. So, you're a liar. You're a big fat phony.
You know what's funny? I was talking about Holden Caulfield earlier today. Like while I was taking my SO home, and I was like trying to explain Eureka 7, where it's kind of like Catching the Rye if the main character was an irritating phony. So basically, it's not Catching the Rye.
I'm just like, okay. And the thing is that they go on the train, and before they can go on the train, he needs a ticket, because it's like, I'm like, all the other kids have the bus or the train passes, which those things actually do work to get on the trains.
And that's when the goat arrives with his own little
here
puppet.
Comes the man, the myth, the legend himself, which I'm like,
not a better quality video, but
all we need is Umataro's with him, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
You have Narutaki Utaro's detective agency.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for some reason, because I guess the Kamen Rider is here, because he's now mysterious friend to all riders. Are you?
Since when?
That's why. Well,
since when?
It makes sense why he hates Decade. He hates Decade because Decade is the destroyer of riders. And he's like, nah, man, I don't like you. I love.
He saved a bunch of them. Did he save Ryuki from Abyss? Didn't he save Blade from getting fired?
Again, Decade was way after all that, so
look.
It was not canon.
He came around. That's all that matters. He came around.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. I was just like, I'm like, oh, okay. And apparently that was the year of Narutaki Sensei, because he was in the original Superhero Tyson, then he was in this one, then he was just everywhere. He was just all over that year. It was just like, god damn. The man just does not rest. It's like he's the doctor, pretty much, of Kamen Rider.
Well, Doctor,
and here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. I have to disagree with you guys about like him only hating Deki, because remember, in the winter film, he became Colonel Zol.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I'm like, wait a minute. When were you the friend of all riders? Is my
you were a member of Super Shocker.
Yeah, so like,
which doesn't sound as cool as Die Shocker, by the way.
It's wonderful to see you again, Sensei. But where'd you the stock puppet?
He went from a hater to a glazer. It happens. It happens.
He comes with his own sock puppet now.
Yeah, and apparently he's friends with Ticket.
Onoridiquedo.
It's like yeah. The minute they get on, it's like the conductor and Ticket are just like, wait, who's this guy? How did he get? Oh yeah, some mysterious guy in a trench coat and a bucket hat gave him the pack.
Let's not disrespect no bucket hats up in here. No.
And he was just like, Ticket was just like, wait, what? Oh my God, is it that Narutaki guy again? He's always making trouble for us.
I mean, it makes sense.
I would love to learn more about that.
I know.
No, we don't.
Where's that special? I want to hear about Narutaki Sensei. Like, where the hell is where's that series? I want to know. Are you the friend of riders, or are you just some mysterious man that chills out with the extras?
I mean, if the conductor is friends with the Denliner conductor, he could be friends with Narutaki as well.
Narutaki is basically the Scrozzle of Kamen Rider, where he's a villain, but he randomly keeps showing up.
Narutaki is the Q of Kamen Rider.
Yeah, I suppose that would be a better
reason. Every Star Trek person knows who Q is. The same thing. It's the same thing with Narutaki. It's like, wait, who? Was he wearing a trench coat and a bucket hat? Yeah.
Yes. Does he wear glasses? Yes. Does he say Honore Decado a lot? Yes. Honore Narutaki!
We're talking about Narutaki. We're not talking about the other guy with the glasses and the kind of talks slow and has a doll on his arm, does it? Oh no, not him. Not him. He's a weirdo.
Not that other guy.
Not that other guy, no. Narutaki's cool though. We don't talk about him though.
Yeah. So basically, the conductor wants to leave because, hey, no shadow line, no reason to be here. Let's GTFO. It's like, but we gotta save
that we have a whole special, and not once did the shadow line ever appear. Not once.
Well, because the funniest part is they were promoting the Rider versus Rider featuring Super Sentai.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Featuring Super Sentai.
And it featured the ToQgers, a little bit of Kyryuger. Deno got to hang out with them for a bit.
Like, basically, like, Momotaro became a Megazord, but it's like, nope. You're going to become the legs. Like Robin from Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, so... Yeah, it makes sense. It's like, okay, the Sentai aren't going to get a lot of screen time in this Rider versus Rider movie. But we give them the screen time here, not a lot of Rider stuff here. Like, although, yeah, it is weird that the Sentai villains aren't really featured, but got to put in that Kamen Rider somewhere.
In biz, we're kind of like an afterthought, because we're referring with the Baron Underground Empire, which they kept, I swear to God, I counted it 10 times. They kept saying it. Mm-hmm. It's like, we are the Baron Empire. It's like, who's the Baron Empire? What's the Baron Empire? Like, God, if this was a drinking game.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. We haven't seen Badan since 1984. We gotta really milk that name recognition. But the thing is, at that point, you may as well just use Destron instead, just so you could get White Ranger Shiro Kazami. And like, I'm not even kidding about that White Ranger part, because in addition to effectively being the Tommy Oliver of the Showa Kamen Rider, he actually did play Big One in Jaka Dengeki Tai. So he literally is that second season white leader.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. It just so happens he kept that energy throughout the entire Showa era. It's like, yeah, I was V3. Yeah, I showed up in X. I showed up in Stronger. I showed up in Sky Rider. But I'm also the Blue Ranger in season 1 of Sentai. And then I'll become the White Ranger right after. And not just a White Ranger, the leader White Ranger. That's right. I'm Tommy Oliver before Tommy Oliver was a thing. Speaking of which, yes, V3 does show up in this episode later on. But yeah, the Invis shows up, becomes giant. So ToQger shows up, and then everyone in Yggdrasil is writing HR complaints. Why is there a giant robot outside of the city? And then Takatora gets a call. It's like, what do you mean there's a giant robot outside the city? Turns around. I would say that turns around again. And then the giant robot shows up again. It's like, and like looks around again, and it's gone once more. And the thing is, that carrier arm, that yellow carrier arm, is really long. I can't believe that whole thing, like for real, like if it was this freaking long, and it's like, turn around. So naturally, Mecha doesn't know.
It's literally that spoof, that joke that they did in Godzilla in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's like, sir, I think your story just walked past your window. We're on the 14th floor. It's like, I see nothing. What are you talking about? I'm like, do you not feel the vibrations, Tori? Did you not hear the engine, the train engine kaboom?
Taka doesn't know. Taka doesn't know. So don't tell Taka. Taka doesn't know. Taka doesn't know. Taka doesn't know. So don't tell Taka.
Oh my God. I was just like, you know what? You totally had a Chaz moment right there. You really did.
Chaz it up. Chaz it up.
You totally did. I'm like, you know what? You're dealing with plant zombie monsters from another dimension that apparently want to come into our world, but believing that one of those monsters turned into a giant, and now there's a trained theme robot fighting it outside your office. Oh, well, that's too stupid. Come on. Who believes that?
That's where he draws the line. Like,
that's where he draws the line. He's like, what? Interdimensional monsters are one thing, but giant ones and then multicolored robots, transformations? What are you going to tell me next? That there's a giant monster from the atomic age that comes out and fights monsters from outer space with 3 heads? Shut the fuck up. What? You've been watching too much anime. It's like, nope. I'm like, see, do you really want to live in Japan? The freaking insurance rates are fucking astronomical.
See, I'll give credit to Takatora. He was alone in his office for anyone to like make fun of his own personal blunder. But when you watch the Ghost versus not Ghost, Drive versus Ninja, it's even sadder because Brain actually did see Ninin Maru outside, but once freaking Heart and Medic turn around and don't say things like, it's like, some Brain, you're such an idiot. There's no robot outside. The only robots are inside this building, and we're human-sized.
Like, what are you talking about?
Stop being an idiot, Brain. And yeah, we will discuss that when we do Kamen Rider Drive. Oh, and a quick aside, yes, like if we ever go back to do older seasons and we end up doing ToQger, yes, this special will be included into the playlist. We're not going to do the same special twice. We're just going to pop it into the playlist once we get past episode 6.
We don't have to talk about it again. We already talked about it.
Put it in the playlist.
You got your mech reference.
Playlist.
Mech reference here. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. It's like oh, episodes 1 through 6 of ToQger. Then we do episodes 7 through something. It's like, But wait, what about that crossover episode between 6 and 7? We already did. Shut up. It's in the playlist.
Shut up. That's what.
Yeah.
But I digress.
So, seemingly all's well that ends well. We got the tanker Ressha being launched by the carrier Ressha, and seemingly everyone's like the other 4 Rangers and Mai are celebrating while Kota asks Wright to do him a solid. And if you've been paying attention to the last couple of episodes of Gaim, it's like, yeah, Mai's got to leave the city before something bad happens. DJ Sagara knows. Sid knows.
Man. It's impossible.
Gotta protect Mai all the time.
Gotta protect my girl. At least that's what Michi would say. And
girl Michi.
So basically, they show Mai inside the rainbow liner, and I'm thinking to myself, wouldn't it be funny if Mai did not have the imagination to actually see the rainbow liner?
Well, actually, now that I think about it, they're adults, so they have their adult brains, but because they're deities, that's what's letting them be able to see it.
Maybe. But in any case, the train just happens to leave with Mai still inside. And that's the end of part 1.
Leave.
That's right. Leave. Only for her to get off the next stop because Wagon would not keep her mouth shut.
Which is in the same fucking city. Like, she's
down the block. It's like, don't worry, you didn't go far. You just went down the street.
Down the block. I was like, I don't know. Did you guys not, like, in your own show, like, okay, you stopped at a stop in Japan, in Tokyo, wherever it may have been, or in Japan, and then when you guys took off, you took off into the sky, but you stayed on the tracks in this movie.
It's like this.
That Kamen Rider crossover going somehow.
Yeah, as ridiculous as the film Bullet Train was, at least they made it very clear that every 2 stops are a decent amount of distance from each other.
But again, the minute Mai gets off the train and just
happens to be about a mile away, there'll be a 15-minute walk back.
Kota out. She is just mad, like, stupid Kota. I could take care of myself. This is my town too.
Only for her to immediately get kidnapped. I don't know if this is a Mokuba Kaiba moment or a Taya Gardner moment.
What? This is just one of those I'm a strong, independent woman moments where it's like, talk, only to fall into the trap that you're saying you would not fall into.
This reminds me of that one reel where, like, a woman's like, I don't need no man. She pours, like washer fluid into, like, the oil tank.
She puts diesel in a gas engine.
No. Like, she puts freaking washer fluid, to, like, wash the windshield.
Wiper fluid, yeah.
Yeah, wiper fluid into where her oil's supposed to be.
Or have you seen that video? I hope that these are all staged, that it's not the girls that are putting cooking oil or, like, the corn oil into their cars. I'm like,
oh God, no.
I've seen
they don't work the same.
I've seen the one where they ruin Teslas.
It's like what's funny is that one of my favorite Mitchell and Webb skits, surprisingly, is not the Hans Are We the Baddies, but rather it's the one where Mitchell plays like this chef who gets punched in the nose, so he loses his job as a chef. So then he makes a robot called Cheeseoid to smell cheese for him. But if he wants to smell petrol, he has to, like, manually turn a dial to make it smell petrol. And then he has to turn the dial back to make it smell cheese again. Petrol, Cheeseoid, make petrol. And basically it put petrol into, like, a cheese sandwich, and put cheese inside a car. Cheeseoid want to kill self.
No, but yeah, my just I'm like, you are just you are just a token hostage in this movie.
Gotta make it feel like it's a Showa era somehow.
It really is.
You know what's fun? You know what's fun is how like not too long ago, like freaking Lady of Origin shows up in front of mine. It's like you gotta leave the city or else you will lose your agency of what's to come. And what does she do? She refuses to leave the city, and then she loses her agency because she gets kidnapped. It's like maybe if you listened to your blonde self, maybe you wouldn't be a reverse stereotype.
Do they ever? Apparently through all this, apparently Baron shows up afterwards.
It's like, hey man, I'm
here. I'm here. You guys forget about me? No, how could we forget about you?
Like you're the best part of the show if Oron wasn't here.
Yeah, you're the only. I mean, you're the saving grace, even though your appearance in the show or in this movie is like not really necessary.
Yeah, especially since like, weren't you out there like fighting?
Sell toys, sell movie tickets.
Yeah,
but we got to see Baron. We got to see. I'm like, did we really need to? Well, okay.
Yeah. I mean, technically, we didn't need to see Ryu again, but he was there.
The thing is that okay, why? Why is he there? Like, what's going on?
He's like the Vegeta to Gaim's Goku.
And then when it's like it's time to take it all down, he's like, again, oh yeah, I'll help you because I'm bored. I wish he had just said, "Oh, I'm contractually obligated to be here."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, Zach said that if I do this for him, then he's gonna buy me a parfait. And I'm here to kick ass and have parfait, and I'm all out of parfait. So
for some reason, yeah, because he's like now they found out that Mai was kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand how they found out Mai was kidnapped because right saw it. Yeah, I'm sorry, right saw it. So it's like. So you just let them have her? You didn't stop them?
He's a kid.
Plot.
Not a very smart one.
No. Not well, I mean, what how old are these kids? Like 10, 11?
They're like 9.
Oh,
I just assume 9.
That's even worse. But still, it's like, okay, yeah, now we got to go get her. And I'm like, where is she? In the abandoned warehouse, of course.
Of course, it's abandoned warehouse. And then finally, the dude gets it right with the whole like scratching the dimension thing, and it's like, oh my, oh no, oh god, and like you're thinking, like what? What did he summon? Did he summon?
The most disappointing thing about this movie is that I'm assuming like there's gonna be some badass looking like maybe a villain that we haven't seen in years or something, you know?
Yeah, like maybe it was Commander Badon, maybe it was Colonel Zol, maybe it was Dr. Shinigami, maybe it's General Shadow. It could be anyone, like someone cool. Heck, Apollo Geist. He sucked in Decade, but maybe we could like do it better the next time around. No, it's just another mole man.
Yeah, we didn't have the budget, or we didn't have all the suits recreated yet, or as
we had to waste our money on those OG Rider suits,
or as the rumor was, it's like, oh no, they did have the suits all reconstructed. It's just that they didn't want them to get damaged before they did the Superhero Tyson movie. So
yeah, so you know the Sentai try to fight off one of the two mole men. And like they managed to defeat it by turning their cannon into a giant whack-a-mole hammer to like whack the mole. And then out of nowhere, Kamen Rider 15 shows up.
Which, spoilers, who is this guy? I don't know.
Find out in the movie.
All right, where
tickets today.
Where does 15 show up? Where does 15 show up?
In the movie.
In a movie.
Yes.
Not this movie, but in another movie.
The movie
in the upcoming.
This is an advertisement for the film.
Yeah. Yes, this film right here.
Yes, that's an advertisement for this particular film, and then that's when you see him again.
Because it just seems like, okay, wait a minute. I mean, I already know who 15 is. I've read up on who 15 is, and I'm like, okay, but it's kind of like
they ran out of ideas for a superhero Tyson.
Okay, Steve. So remember when we were discussing build, and he randomly announced there'll be like 3 new prime ministers for the 3 districts, and then we never see them again in the TV show because they're building up for the summer film, and then they die in the summer film, and it's like never mentioned. So 15 is basically those 3 prime ministers who turn out to be members of the Blood Clan.
Yep.
And it feels more like, again, it's revealing the main bad guy before you even like, wait, what? So when they finally do reveal him, whether it be in the show or whatever, it's just like, oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta sell them tickets.
You got, I was like,
which is ironic because they released the movie like 2 days before the special even aired.
Actually, let me see when the
like the movie itself. If you just waited a week or 2, it would have made more sense.
But they just had to put 15 in there for some reason, and just like I'm wondering
to promote the film.
I wonder if children in Japan were kind of just like scratching their heads, like, "Wait, who is this guy?
Really.
What's going on?" Like,
I mean, they would know because it would have at least seen trailers. For
actually,
the movie.
no. The movie did come out the day before. The actual released March 29th, because movies release Saturdays in Japan. Because it pairs with our.
Oh yeah, it was 1 day before. Yeah.
Yeah, because when the movie was released on the Saturday, it pairs with in the Americas Friday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it released a day before and then aired this episode the next day. So I'm pretty sure they were.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just kind of was just like, wait a minute, what is he doing here? It's kind of like if we were to watch Kiva again, and they show Dark King, like in episode 5, and then we never see him again until the actual time he finally appeared.
Yeah,
it's like,
or worse, they show Arc in episode 5, and then we don't see him until the movie 20 episodes later.
So it's like, why? Well, it was just to get kids excited. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess, but I mean, well, it didn't spoil
if the movie came out a week later, just 1 week later, this move would have made more sense. And that's not even to factor the fact that the movie takes place somewhere after episode 24 and before 28. So God knows, maybe the movie takes place right after the special. Maybe the movie takes place 3 episodes after the special.
Although what's interesting though is that even when the kids are like powered up, and they couldn't even damage 15, they were just so.
They weren't going to run the ones with him.
I mean, obviously they were not going to do anything, and it took 3 old men to finally show up.
Well, D3 is the Tommy Oliver, so of course he's gonna be able to do it.
We had to get the 2 Kamen Riders, Ichigo
and
Ningo, along with V3.
So you had to get.
And what's interesting is that in this movie, they used Nigo's green helmet because like I'll say this, in Forza, the thing I really appreciate is that Nigo had the black helmet, the stunt helmet, because with that, it makes him look distinguishable from Ichigo. Now, I know, like, if you're a real purist, you know that Ichigo has white gloves with 2 stripes going down the sides of his suit, while Nigo has red gloves with 1 thick stripe going down the side of his suit. Like, those of us in the know are in the know, but for the people that are less familiar, that black helmet that he used in Forza really helped tell the 2 of them apart. I wish that was a permanent change, but it wasn't.
Hey. Costumes. Costumes, am I right?
Costumes. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like you got two guys that look the same, and then a third guy who's like a little greener than the other two. So it's like, what do you do here? And it takes us back to our discussion of the 20th anniversary, where it's like you got a bunch of dudes in red suits, and then you got this one dude in a white suit.
Yeah, but only it took the original 3 riders to take down 15,
and by take down, just scare him off so that we would have something to look forward to in the movie. And of course, like the ToQger's like,
basically, hey, it's like this scene right here with the Scorpion King. Like, nah, I'll be back.
Yes, Scorpion King 2, the prequel, to what's it called? The prequel to the spin-off of the sequel of the remake.
Yeah, that never should have happened.
Scorpion King 2 is a prequel to Scorpion King 1, which is a spin-off of The Mummy Returns, which is a sequel to The Mummy, which is a remake of The Mummy.
Yeah.
So it's a prequel of a spin-off of a sequel of a remake. And yes, Michael Coupon is in it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, only for those riders to walk away. The kids asked them, "Aren't you going to help Gaim and Banana Man?"
Oh no, they're Heisei riders. We show riders only.
Yeah, we don't like your youths. We don't like you youths. And I don't even want to go into why. You're just gonna have to wait for them to talk about the movie on why they don't even like them.
So come back in 2 weeks.
I'll just tell you, it's stupid. It is so stupid.
Yes, 2 weeks, because we gotta discuss episodes 24 through 27, and then we do the movie.
But yeah, no.
Because
like, we don't like you youths. See, if they don't like the Heisei guys, they definitely don't like you.
Make yourself sound older than you are, gentlemen.
Yeah, they're like, we don't like you youths from the Heisei. And it's like, but we're like 10. We definitely don't like you youths, you ToQgers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We'll help you youths because you're just kids, but we won't help those youths because they're whippersnappers.
We don't do the most, but, we still don't let kids get hurt. But we still don't like you the most.
Back in our days, we didn't have gimmick toys like lock seeds and Gaim memories and Astro Switch. We just kicked the terrorists literally off of motorcycles. No card games.
Card games and motorcycles.
Yeah, I love how there was that one meme where someone took voiceover from Team 4-Star and dubbed over the actual movie where Fujioka is pointing at Gakusano. He's like, it's like, you look like a fruit, and I don't mean like homosexual. I mean like a literal fruit.
Eggplant.
He's an orange. He's an orange.
Yeah, so we got the Tokyo Blaster. Oh, and we had our mandatory use of Kachidoki. Got to sell them toys.
Oh yeah, there was a brief joke where Baron and Ryugen both had like Kachidoki flags on their backs in order to draw out one of the two Molmen. But it's so irrelevant to the grand scheme of the plot. It's just random.
It's there to be funny.
Yeah, but the fact that Baron was roped into it, that's the funny part.
He's like, nah, I'm a crash out. He's like, look, Ryugen, you're gonna have your Sasuke crash out. I'm gonna have my Vegeta crash out. We gonna hurt this boy for making us do this.
Yeah. So real Kachidoki Orange Boy defeats the other Molmen, and then everyone parts ways for real this time.
For now.
For real.
Go see the movie in theaters.
For real for now. And
go see this movie in theaters. Go do it now. Go get your tickets.
And then they play one of the Gaim insert songs as everyone heads out. That's the end.
Yeah, no, just bye. Like I was like, that's it. Like, yeah,
That's
no,
it.
bye, bye.
But what about 15? Oh, you'll see in the movie. But what about the ToQgers? Watch the show.
Watch the show. Watch the movie.
Wait,
but what about that Overlord Kaido was fighting? Watch it next week.
Where's everyone else? It's like, I don't ask me, dude. You gotta watch the show.
And then of course, the ToQgers are like, wait a minute, I just remembered something. We didn't get to go to Charmant. Oh man, we wanted to meet Bravo so badly. And then conveniently Wagon actually got several foods from Charmant. I'm like, how do they even serve robots?
That I would like to have seen. I would like to see a deleted scene of that interaction.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Oran, Pierre Alfonso, and maybe even Janochi-kun interact with Wagon. Try to wiggle her little caboose, and then he'd be like, "No, I don't believe in cabooses. I only believe in melons."
He don't like
that would have been one hell of a conversation between the two.
I think that's why they cut it out, because nah, we don't want those undertones. We don't need those overtones being more over than we already have it. So.
Yeah, so we're toning over it, and that's it. This special 8.5 out of 10 for me. It's like it had good moments, but it could have been better.
It's a 10 because I love ToQger. I love Gaim. Yeah, there's a lot of flaws. And there's no Bravo. But it's still a good time. Especially the ToQger half is a definite good time.
How about you, Steve? What score would you give the whole special?
I give it a 5.
Oh, that bad.
Oof. I mean, the whole premise itself was, I need to go back and rewatch ToQger. I mean, they were both wonderful times. Mm-hmm. They've been wonderful times. Gaim right now, but ToQger in the past. But this one was just all over the goddamn place. I'm like, the monsters made no sense. Everything just kind of really just, hey, come on. We gotta wrap it up. We're like,
we gotta sell this. We gotta sell this movie.
We gotta sell the movie. We have to. We have to sell it. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck I even just spent money to watch. This could have been. Basically, did we really need to put this in theaters? This could have been on TV.
This was on TV.
This was on TV.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they literally, instead of doing an episode of Gaim and an episode of ToQger, they just did a 1-hour special on TV instead.
5 minutes without the commercials, which I'm like.
The only reason why I was like this at the time is because during this time of superhero time, this is when Super Sentai was the opening act. Then Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, and then around I think around Build is when they switched the schedule, and then moved it down an hour.
2017. It was 2017 because at that point, when Kamen Rider was in the leading block, that's when it started doing better numbers than Dragon Ball Super. And I remember this because my friend got upset with me. He's like, Dragon Ball Super's not doing as good numbers because of Kamen Rider. I'm like, look, this is all Toei's fault. They're the ones who shot themselves in the foot on that. Blame them for doing that to them.
And that was Build.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, just because it comes from Japan does not mean they're doing it right.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was in the middle of X. It was either middle of X8 or into Build. One of those times.
The thing is that ToQger is a fun show. The premise, the villains, everything. Same thing goes for Build. It's an interesting show. It's a wonderful show. It's just putting them together. I could have felt that there could have been more in the special than just, reusing the same 5 suits, the same 5 henchmen, and then having 2 mole men running around. That's the threat.
Yeah, October 1st, 2017 is when they changed the lineup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was literally around the first week of what's it called? Build.
Yep. Yeah, Build was still the following act, and then after that, then that's when we switched it to build. Yeah.
Yeah, because originally I remember it was like in the original time slot, it used to be Super Sentai at 7:30 in the morning, and then Kamen Rider at 8. But then they switched it so that Kamen Riders at 9, and then Super Sentai is yeah.
And then that's because in that time slot is 9 o'clock Dragon Ball, 9:30 One Piece, but that's on Fuji TV, and that's why I got yelled at. It's like, how dare Kamen Rider take the time slot of Dragon Ball? I'm like, I'm not Toei. I'm not stupid enough to do that. Like, I'm not stupid. I like money. Why would I do that to myself?
Yeah. Yeah, and part of the reason why they moved up the Toku and Shoujo programming, because don't forget, Precure is part of that time slot.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. It used to be Sentai, Rider, Precure.
And then some dinosaur gimmick anime like Beyblade, but with dinosaurs. At least when Kiva was there, it was like some dinosaur anime that had some kind of gimmick like Beyblade or Bakugan. But then it was like just Precure, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai. And the reason they did that is so there would be like a Sunday morning news broadcast.
Well, yes. Nowadays, I can actually confirm this because I watch this every week. It's always something about them glazing Shohei Ohtani. Always glazing Shohei Ohtani. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way because he's a good player. And and I'm saying this from New York, and they're in LA, and it's like we're rivals right now. We're rivals right now, but yeah, that's basically what they air every week. Something about Ohtani. So it's Ohtani, then Precure, then Superhero Time.
Yeah. Oh, let's not forget the silent 6 weeks. The 6 weeks of silence back in that 1 year. But yeah, no, it's like, see, here's the thing. I think this special would have been better if instead of if it just did its own thing as a crossover instead of being a shameless promotion for a movie, which, by the way, came out the day before, which makes even less sense.
Oh, it's because they got it's Toei. It's Toei. Look, they greedy like that. That's how it is.
It's like if they just released the movie a week later, it would have made more sense. But they didn't. So this crossover special is completely pointless because the point is to promote the movie. But the movie already came out. It's not even an epilogue to the movie. It's a prequel.
It's just a glorified commercial.
It's a glorified commercial. Yes.
That's what Tokusatsu is. It's just a glorified toy commercial.
But I just wish it was its own thing. It's like it hurts me when I have to acknowledge that Mighty Morphin versus Saban's Master Rider got the plot just a smidge better. Because at least it was like a proper
it was the cell of TV show starring Purvis, which we do not forgive.
Well, Purvis wasn't in A Friend in Need, but at least it was concise. The crossover. And it did hype you up to watch Master Rider before, it came crashing down and whatnot. But this felt more shameless because it's not promoting a new show. It's promoting a movie that already came out
the day before.
So yeah, it's like 8.5 for me. That's why it's like it had its moments. It had some great moments, just not. It wasn't the plot. Okay, let's get into it. Let's see what the people have to say.
What y'all got to say about it?
Raphael says, "Hey, how you doing, Raphael?"
Hey,
Goseiger was a show, a lot of missed potential. Well, it was a show.
It was a show. I mean,
It
had
job.
potential. It had potential, but they just executed it poorly.
Mm-hmm. And mind you, I just finished Goseiger like a couple months ago. Like I would say like maybe sometime during the springtime or summertime, I finished watching Goseiger all the way through. Then I watched all of Turbo Ranger, then all of O Ranger, then went back to KyoRanger, finished it, watched Dino Force Brave because it's part of it. And right now I'm midway through Kira Majors, so wish me luck.
Oh, I drank through Kira Major. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my review of it.
I'm 16 episodes in. I'm just like crossing them out till I get to the best episode, which is episode 27.
People love Kira Major, and it ain't for the plot. It was because every single one of the girls that were on that show were active swimsuit models.
And one of them was previously in Ghost.
Yeah. So again, it's like, oh, why do you watch Kira Major? It's so like
for the plot, man.
You watch it for those thick buns. That's what you're watching it for.
That's the plot.
That's the plot. That's pretty much it. It's like the same thing with watching Den-O. It's like, why are we watching? For the plot? No, we're looking at
we're watching Den-O for the Kohi Karadeska.
We're watching Den-O for Miss 2004 Miss Japan nice butt.
I mean,
because God knows when we're gonna get the Den-O, but just to let you know that why do you think there's so much?
But you know the real peaches belong to Momotaro.
Oh yeah, but he can't compare to her peaches.
I beg to differ, but hey, whatever.
Okay, yummy. This fruit looks tasty. No, don't eat that fruit. Don't eat that fruit.
No. See, if they don't want to listen to what I said during the Boom Boom reviews, let them. You didn't listen then. You don't want to listen now. Go ahead.
Hey, remember in Dawn Brothers when they made that blue pasta using Helheim fruits?
They don't want to listen to my.
They never listen.
Don't listen.
That's why the cat origami people took over.
And that's how you get your Natsumihos. Okay. Don't want that.
Still sad about the lack of Bravo in this episode. I know Bravo really cared. Imagine how much better it would have been if Bravo actually was there.
He would have stolen the show. We wouldn't even.
That's probably why they didn't have him. He's like, nah, we can't have him stealing the show.
Absolutely not. Where did the monkey Narutaki come from? Well, let's hope we find out in the movie. But knowing the movie, it probably
the answer to that question is yes.
Shows up.
Honore di Kedo.
The answer is yes, and plus to sell it on Premium Bandai.
Did they sell it on Premium Bandai?
I mean,
I would be surprised. I'm
they did. Have you seen some of the stuff that Premium Bandai has sold? I'm like,
they sold Banjo's shirt for God's sakes. So,
they sold jewelry. That's I'm like, wait, so and so had jewelry? It's like, yeah. They're like, then why the fuck would I pay that much for? I didn't even know that they had. And I'm like, yeah, it just is. I'm like, no.
Look, man, for Halloween, I'm dressing up as Yugi Moto, so I got myself a Kirishima wig from My Hero Academia, and I'm gonna try to make some yellow lightning streaks of hair to like hopefully match it up.
Gotta add some black in there too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think the black is as important as long as I got the spikes going. As long as I don't look like Dimitri from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. See, I remember that.
Okay.
I am the Kamen Rider's biggest fan. Since when?
Since yes.
Since always.
Like freaking Narutaki. You were Colonel Zoll. I haven't forgotten that. It didn't make sense. Those shorts did not fit you well.
I mean, maybe he was undercover. Or maybe it's the meds kicking in for me. I don't know.
Maybe it's the hadium. He's been eating on decadium.
That's what happens when you hating. You hating to glazing.
Mm-hmm.
Your haters are your biggest glazers. That's also a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's it for the comments, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed watching the spring break special. Tomorrow, on Mondays we do Ultraman Arc, but because this week they just did another one of those special episodes, we are actually gonna go back to Blazar and talk about the Tokyo Kaiju Attack movie. Steve, I hope you're excited for that, since you were a veteran of the Blazar hit squad.
Well, Johnny did confirm with me that they did dub it, so
yeah, I couldn't find the dub anywhere, but it has to exist somewhere, I suppose.
it's somewhere. I'll have to just find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, man, I'd be mad if like Johnny did record for it and then they just never released it. It's like, what would even be the point? I mean, I hope Johnny got paid, sure, but it's like, don't you want work you were paid for?
Do they ever? It's like they do Sentai and they do Power Rangers, and they never once did any of the movie specials or anything like that with past teams. They just kind of glazed over, like, oh, those aren't important.
I mean, I'll say this: with past seasons of Ultraman, it's like they did release the movies on Tubi. But like this is the first time we actually had a simul dub. Like by which I mean Blazar was the first time we had a simul dub. We had a dub of X, but it wasn't simul dubbed. So God knows how they're gonna work with the movies.
I mean,
you know, having a week off from doing actual episodes of Arc is a perfect opportunity to finish Blazar once and for all. And of course, Wednesdays we got Kamen Rider Gavu, very tasty. Typically on Thursdays we're doing Bakuage Sentai Boom Boomger, but because it's Halloween this week, we're moving that to Friday, Dia de los Muertos, where we wish un muerto por Monsieur Disgrace.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was a good episode. Hopefully by then I'll be medically cleared.
Yeah, hopefully all that. Yeah, and of course on Sundays we are continuing with Kamen Rider Gaim with an actual 4-episode blog before we move on to the actual movie that this special was shamelessly promoting. And of course, you could check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where hopefully sometime in this upcoming week we will be discussing a certain movie that's actually the 10th anniversary of another movie, but in itself would be celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. And yes, because it's October, it is a scary movie. What is that movie? I'll let you guys guess. All I'm going to say is it like chronologically would have taken place before Terminator 2, even though Terminator 2 came out before this movie did. But no, this movie is not Terminator related. But with that in mind, please stay tuned for that. And of course, if you want to follow our personal content, Steve, where can the people find you?
I'm just on IG, just on my own personal right there on the link. I have gotten my stuff back, so thank you for everyone sending me all the messages. I'll get to them. I'll reply soon enough.
Nice. And Jared, where can the people find you?
Y'all know you can find us here on Twitch, and in a few days, as long as Toei don't do nothing, we'll have the YouTube channel back. So
nice. And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. Well, that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, up the emergency kits, all your loved ones. Make sure your Halloween costumes follow all the traffic safety rules that we've previously covered on Bakuage Sentai Boom Boomger. And, just make sure you have a safe and fun Halloween out there. If you're dressing up like characters from Mean Girls, from their Halloween escapades,
you go,
sure
Coco.
Yeah,
That's all I know about Mean
Yeah,
Girls.
Glen Coco. Yeah, that's right. Never forget October 3rd. Full Metal. All right. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Blazar movie. Have a good one. Bye.